Welcome to Let Freedom Ring. Again, we're doing 2 episodes this week. We got security here. We're good to go. But my guest today, good friend of mine, Josh Briand. Josh, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, very pleasure to have you here. So, want to get to know you a little bit. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Grew up in Nashua, New Hampshire. I was born here. Lived in Chelmsford, Massachusetts for 4 years. Moved back to Nashua, and I've been residing in Merrimack for the last 5 years.
Nice, nice. We like to have Merrimack residents on the show. So, now, what's 3 things that everybody should know about you?
I don't think anybody really cares to know much about me, but
I don't know about that.
I don't know, man. I'm an outdoorsy person. I love sports. I love my friends, family. I'm a very big family guy. Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. It's just sports, outdoors, and family. It's my 3 biggest things in life.
Awesome, awesome. And now you're a father of 2 now.
Yes, I am. I had my youngest 4 months ago in November.
Awesome, awesome. I love to see that. Now, toughest question that we ask here.
Uh-oh.
One of them. But it sticks with the theme of the show here. What does it mean to you to be an American?
Oof.
It's a loaded, we know.
Yeah.
We're going to put it on a shirt one day.
Yeah. Live in a free country. You look at everything going on in the world. What's going on over in the Middle East, in Europe right now with Ukraine and Russia. And, we don't worry about that kind of stuff around here right now. We wake up every day, we eat our breakfast, drink our coffee, see our family, go to work, come home, and we don't have to worry about the stress of bombs flying over our heads or what's going to happen tomorrow or while we're sleeping. It's knowing that we have that comfort and that freedom every night to come home to our families and wake up in the morning.
And, I had Vinny Loria on the show over the weekend. We did a live stream.
Yeah.
He lives in China. And he was just saying how he had to be careful about what he could say because we can say whatever we want.
Yeah. Without
repercussions from the government.
Right.
He doesn't have that luxury, so.
Yeah, freedom of speech is great. You look at the recent election and, no matter if it's a Republican, Democrat, someone's unhappy with the other party. So you can say what you want. You don't have to worry about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
If you don't like the president.
You can voice that.
Exactly. Without having to worry about anything.
No, good answer. I love that. We do want to talk about something. It's coming up soon, the Tough Ruck.
Yes.
You're going to be doing your 7th.
Yep.
What is the Tough Ruck?
The Tough Ruck is a 26.2-mile ruck, walk, run, however you want to perform it, with a weighted rucksack on your back. Now, when we first started, we didn't really have the benefit of what we can do now. We have the limit of doing like a 15-pound minimum now. Before we had to do like a 20, 25-pound minimum. I remember when you first joined me, your first year was a rough year for you. You had that kitty litter with a 50-pound ruck. I remember how painful that was for you. But yeah, I mean, it's a great way to bring awareness to the military, to families in need, first responders. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'm very proud of this event.
Yeah.
And we go back to we're like the OGs now of the Tough Ruck.
Yes, we are.
But man, it feels so good because the money does go back to Gold Star families, people that aren't coming home. It goes to their families. So, how did you get involved with it? I guess it's,
So Southern New Hampshire University, the first year that they allowed civilians into the Tough Ruck. You were lucky enough to be working for Southern New Hampshire University at the time, and you had brought it up. I asked you if I was able to join you. You asked your coworkers, your boss, whoever it was, and you guys were welcoming me with open arms, and that was the start of a great thing.
Yeah, I think we had Sean Gill on the team at the time.
Yeah, we did.
I miss Sean. I don't get to see him that often anymore.
I heard he was coming back this year.
Oh, I hope he's there.
He may not. I know he did the virtual last year, so hopefully he comes back this year.
Did my friend Rob try to join the team?
Rob?
I always forget Rob B is what I call him. I know
I think last year he did.
Okay, I think he wants to join again, so you might have to approve that because at this point we're our own team.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not.
You know what? Rucking on empty is for everybody. Yeah. It's for everybody. Whoever wants to join, it's a big happy family.
I like that. I love it. What's the most challenging part? And I think I have an idea, but I want to get your perspective on it.
Mentality. The mentality of it. I mean, the physicality part of it, it's tough, obviously. But as you start, it seems a lot easier than you think. And then as the time wears on and you get towards the end of the mileage, your body starts to, you feel it, and you got to get past that mentality part of it of, I can't finish this. And you got to tell yourself, yes, you can. Listen to your body, but tell yourself, yeah, you can finish this. And you just push through it, and it's rewarding. That's the biggest thing for me, is it's rewarding.
You do a lot of races. Do you find is this one of the most challenging things?
By far. By
okay.
far. Yeah. I mean, I've never run an actual marathon outside of the Tough Ruck. In fact, the furthest I've really gone is a 10-miler for a Tough Mudder.
Okay.
But with Tough Mudders, you got the obstacles that break down the mileage, so it's not as physically demanding over the course of the event. Tough Ruck is constant go, 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 and you especially with their time limit they allow you, they try to get you to finish within 8 hours, especially if you want your medal. So to push your body and try to get that finish line before the 8 hours can be very physically and mentally draining.
No, I totally agree. Been there. Side question, because we've done the Beast together too, the Spartan Beast.
Yes.
Now, how many times? You've probably done that a couple times now.
I finished that 3 times.
Okay.
3 times.
What can you compare the two? Of why the Tough Ruck might be more challenging than the Beast is that was crazy. That was a crazy day.
Yeah. I mean, they each have their own. Tough Ruck is more challenging because you're carrying that weight over the full course. And again, you have that time limit with the Tough Mudder, the Beast. Where if we start early enough, the toughest part is just the mountains. You get your downtime in the obstacles. You get your downtime for your drinks. I mean, you get your downtime during the ruck, but you're standing in line for the Beast. You're hitting a clog in the trail where you're running into other people, so you're slowing down. With the Beast, it's just go, go, go. I mean, with the Ruck, it's just go, 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 go. So I mean, the physically demanding of carrying that weight on your back is more challenging to me than going up a hill with nothing on my back.
I mean, we had a crazy story too. We volunteered at the Beast.
Yeah, that was. I mean, we volunteered a few times, but that one year when they were kicking people off the course, that was a hairy moment for us.
I'll tell you, one of the scariest moments I ever had. I don't know if you remember this, but you and Rob were there, and the guy took me and goes, "I need to take you to this other place."
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So I had no idea that I was going to tell maybe 1,000 people that you're disqualified from the race.
Yeah.
And they started yelling at me, and I said, "I'm just a volunteer."
Yeah, and then after they left you, they tried jumping on the course in front of us
by
going underneath the caution tape, and we had to tell them, "Nope, sorry, you can't." And yeah, they were trying to throw some punches here and there.
That was absolutely
that was nuts.
I can't believe we did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
never do that again. At least not the Beast. The Beast is completely different.
No, I would volunteer at a smaller one. But,
yeah.
Honestly, the guy left me there, and then it started to get dark out, and I go, "I'm not staying here anymore." I started walking back, and this guy, he was a crazy person. All of a sudden, he spots me. He goes, "Do you need help?" I go, "I'm your volunteer. Just please get me back to my friends. My phone has died, and I don't know where they are." I'm like...
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think is the most rewarding part of the Tough Ruck?
Finishing it is definitely has its rewards. It's like I said, it's mentally and physically taxing. So knowing that you pushed your body to the limits over 26 miles, and a normal marathon has its own perks, but knowing that you did that with the weight and you did it in honor of the military and the people who can't be there to do that is very rewarding. But ultimately, the most rewarding part is knowing that you raised the money in honor of those military and first responders who gave their lives in active duty to better our lives, give us freedom, to save our lives on a daily basis.
No, I agree. I think I couldn't be more proud to be part of this event.
100%.
you know, and I really appreciate that you're a part of it every year. Rob, Bobby.
I thank you for, you know, giving me the opportunity to initially take on this. Because if it wasn't for you, I would have never been able to participate. I probably would have never even known about it.
No, I appreciate that. Now, you've had some really good times, though. What are some of the times that you've had? I know there was you always blow us out of the water.
Yeah, well, you know, after the first year, when it took us about 8.5 hours or something like that, when we all stuck together, I realized that towards the end of it, my body was just like, you need to finish or we're giving out. Yeah. So now I just kind of just push my body so that I push past that mentality of you can't finish. So if I start running, then I'm not going to stop. As soon as I slow down and I stop, my body's just like, yeah, you're done. Yeah. So, yeah, my best times, I've had 3 straight years of sub 6 hours. Last year was a little bit slower being virtual. We had a different course I've never gone on before. A little bit more hills than we're used to. But the last time we were on the actual course together, I had about 5:42, and I finished 3rd overall in my age group. So.
No, you always do a good job with that. What do you think of the hill at the end?
It's nothing like...
we're going to be back to that this year. That's like in my head, I go... Because the place we went the last couple of years during the pandemic, pretty much all flat.
Right.
The actual Tough Ruck course there's that giant hill at the end.
It's our version of Heartbreak Hill.
Yeah, like what do you think when you're going up that?
Honestly, it just doesn't bother me anymore. The first couple of years it did, but even though the Tough Ruck is more challenging, that final hill on the Beast just makes that last hill look like a baby hill. So I mean, all I do is envision that last hill in the Spartan Beast, and I know if I can handle that, I can handle this thing. So it's, to me, the first couple of years was a little overwhelming, but and now it's just another hill to me.
I understand. Well, it's so funny that's like the last thing. It's like, okay, you can finish this race, but you got to get up this hill.
Right. Oh, when you first start, you don't even think about it because you come right out at that same spot. Take the right instead of taking the left. So the first couple of years when we did it, you're like, you know, there's nothing. It's just going to be flat ground. And then you come around that corner at the end right there, and you're like, oh, no.
You know what's kind of funny? I hiked Mount Killington, which is where we did the Beast, and I realized that's a 4,000-footer, right? I hiked it, and I kind of went down, and I was like, oh, my goodness. We pretty much summited this mountain during this Spartan race.
We did.
Like... What?
And the worst part is, like, you go up and you start coming down, and you're like, all right, you know, we're coming down, and they're like, just kidding. You turn right back up and head right back up again. It's like, no. It's
crazy because I've hiked all the 4,000 footers in New Hampshire, but to really think about like that as a race,
right?
That's kind of crazy. The Beast,
yeah.
You know,
you figure when you go hiking, you know, you're taking your time, you're enjoying the sights. You don't get that opportunity when you're hiking, when you're doing the Spartan race. So you don't really realize what you're doing while you're doing it. And then when you finish, that's when you kind of take the time and settle and go, wow.
Absolutely crazy. We did the death march. I thought Rob was going to die.
I thought I was going to die.
I think we all did. You know, but man, the Beast was like, I will say, very proud of the Tough Ruck and everything. Doing the Beast with you and Rob, that was just a great time, phenomenal time. Like, and we're all just like proud of each other after.
Yeah, I mean, unlike the Tough Ruck, I mean, at this point, I try to push myself and try to finish as fast as possible. But with the Spartan race, with the Beast, I mean, that's just all about teamwork. Making sure that you finish, making sure Rob finishes, making sure I finish. We're all work together to make sure that we get to the finish line in one piece and the other one's not left behind.
No, I love it. It's a team effort. Love being a part of it. We got some fan questions for you here. Are you going to see Used with Rise Against from Jesse DeLay?
So...
I don't know these bands.
So the Used is one of my favorite bands.
Okay.
My brother and my sister-in-law are going to it, and they want me to go. It all depends. You know, now that I have 2 kids at home, my wife works 12-hour shifts, so it all depends on if she's off on that day. Being a nurse is kind of hard to take time off, so if she's off, it makes it easier to go to these. So if she's off, I'll probably go to the show. I mean, I love seeing the Used, but it's a toss-up until I find out what her schedule is.
Where is that again? Where is it going to be? I'm sorry.
It's a new venue down in Massachusetts. I'm not exactly sure. It's over by Warrior Ice Arena.
Okay.
So they just opened up this past winter. So.
Okay. Awesome. Now from Nicholas Kepka
Calvetti.
That's a tough name.
It is. It is.
Where's the Battletoad exclusive?
Yeah. So that is our Blitz flag football team. So
okay.
I don't know what he wants for an exclusive, but Battletoads are going to finish number 1 in the Bees this year.
Okay. Is this Blitz or?
This is Blitz. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Mike Lamonde still playing or?
Yeah, he plays for the Vikings.
Okay.
Yeah, still gets stiff armed in the chest.
Oh, Mike. I can't. So you guys play against each other?
No, so we're a B division. We're like a smaller division.
Okay.
Or less skillful division. Mike plays in the A's, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the Forsyths are much better than I am.
But you play with them a lot, though.
Not really. I played one session with them. Most of the time they play in a higher division. I'll play indoors with them here and there, but they haven't played in a while, so.
Okay, I think more of like the Turkey Bowl.
Yeah, the Turkey Bowl definitely. Well, we try to, but now that the rules are changed, it makes it a little bit harder.
Well, it's hard running that, I will say. From a good friend of mine, Kendall Payne Glover.
Yep.
And again, Kendall was right. It is Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the unified titles. He was right on that. He wants to know, any advice for anyone doing the Tough Ruck for the first time? That's his first question. Then he has another one.
Advice for the first time. Train. That's the one thing that you and I really didn't do the first year that we did it. I mean, it kind of came up sudden. I didn't know much what to expect from it. Train if you can. Most importantly, listen to your body.
I actually think we trained harder the first year than we ever did. Remember we walked from Milford to Nashua?
The second year, I think we trained a little bit more. Yeah, that's when you and I and Rob did down to the Nashua Garden a few times.
Yeah, there was at one point I think we got dropped off at Tyler's house.
Yeah, there was that one time.
Milford to Nashua, yeah.
So I mean, the first year we did train a little bit, but the second year definitely we trained a lot harder.
Yeah.
Now it's so much harder to train that it'll be interesting. But first time, definitely listen to your body. As you're going, I mean, there's going to be times you just want to give up. Sit down, take some ibuprofen, eat something, drink something, and just take your time. Finishing is it feels good to finish, but you're not going to finish if you don't listen to yourself.
What do you feel on footwear?
That's a toughie for me. Everybody's different. I know that Bobby likes to wear hiking boots. I'm not sure. Last year you wore the Hokas, right?
I'm Hokas all the way now.
So you're Hokas.
And that's my. I don't want to. Colin, I know we can't promote things, but Hokas are. That's a great shoe.
So I've never tried Hokas. I've never tried them. I've worn Nikes. I've worn Adidas Ultra Bounces. Last year I wore Nike Airs, and that was probably the least painful year I've had hiking. Rucking surprisingly, and I probably will run in my. If I don't try the Hokas, I'll probably run my Nikes again because as soon as I switched to my Ultra Bounces, my feet hurt way worse than I did in my Nikes.
Do you use insoles or anything? Because the first year that I did it, anybody knows this, my feet were split apart. I know it was a heavy bag, to the point where I went to Florida the week after.
Yep.
I had a hole in my foot and there was sand in it. And I was walking in a bar and I went, there's something in my shoe. It wasn't in my shoe, it was in my foot.
That's gross.
Yeah. Do you use any insoles or anything like that?
No, actually, I don't. I've been told to wear wool socks, but my feet sweat so much that it makes it real hard over the course of. So I always bring an extra pair of socks, and I use Body Glide. Okay. And I'll just lather it in my bottom of my foot and in between my toes with Body Glide. I put it on like any part of my body that rubs, my shoulders, my chest, my insides of my thighs, just anywhere that there's a possibility of of rubbing going on. It's helped the last few years. I've had no blisters the last 3 years. So.
Yeah, it is crazy. Like to me, Hokas are nothing now.
Yeah.
I've been wearing them since the second year we did it. I will say when I got my feet got shredded was hiking boots and sneakers. I switched, but I live and die by Hokas now.
I'll have to try them.
And we
Hey,
can't
no
really
promotion, no
we can't really
promotion.
promote, but Alex Shoe Store has them.
No promotion,
Just so
but
people know.
I have been interested in them, so I might try them this year.
He also wants to know any diet advice for losing weight that you might know of.
I mean, look at me. I'm not one.
He's a dad.
I'm not one to give advice. I'm probably the laziest athletic person you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
I sit at home, eat snacks, watch TV, and then I'll go for a run occasionally. So I mean, I really don't have much diet advice as far as that goes.
I don't know much about it either, to be honest. Not that
I wish I could eat healthier and diet better, maybe be in a little bit better shape, but I'm happy with the way I am right now. So
genetics play a big part in
100%.
it. You know, it's like
100%. I got lucky.
Yeah, it's not much you can do there. Steve Riley has a question. And can he have a fat raise? Are you Steve's boss?
I am now Steve's boss. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. But I have no control over the raises. So I can put in a good word, but that's about as far as I can go. So, Steve, sorry, man. Can't give you a big raise.
Steve's a great guy, though.
He's a good guy.
He's
a good guy.
He was very excited. So he brought a team to the Turkey Bowl. They did a draft this year, and he was so happy.
I was so disappointed to miss it this year.
Yeah, we missed you having there. But man, I have him live. I was live on Facebook, and he was celebrating that. It was one of the craziest endings to the Turkey Bowl I've ever seen.
Really?
Ever.
I was there for a little bit, but I didn't get to see the end of it.
Yeah, it's something to go back and watch. Riley, you did a good job. You did. We want to get into this, and we talked about it on the last show.
Okay.
We're filming 2 shows today. Did you know the Oscars were on Sunday?
I did not.
Did you find out later that the Oscars were happening?
Oh, yeah. I decided to check my Twitter just to see what was going on in the world, and the entire Twitter and Facebook was just pasted with Chris Rock getting slapped by Will Smith.
Yeah, so I have a lot of strong opinions on this. What was your take on what happened there?
You know, I understand in some ways where Will Smith's coming from, only because, you know, if it's a genetics thing or a disease that Jada has, you know, it's a tough situation to be in. But come on, man, you laughed. Yeah. You laughed at the joke. I mean, it's the Oscars. It's any awards show. You always have that comedic actor that's cracking jokes the whole time, and he's gonna make some that are offensive. He's gonna make some that aren't offensive, and it's part of the show. Take The Office for example. Like, you look at some of the jokes cracked in that. I mean, some people could take it pretty offensive, especially nowadays. I mean, there's a lot of things you can't say nowadays that
you could 15
back
years
in the
ago.
day.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. So, I mean, you watch any award show, though, and they're cracking jokes left and right. I mean, it's just part of the show. Well, whether that slap was staged or not, we'll never know.
He hit him pretty good.
He did.
You know, I think it'd be a difference if he punched him.
Yeah.
That would have been like, I don't know, but I gotta say though, and I don't know what your take on this is, because I posted something on Facebook where I said, and I didn't mean just men.
Yep.
I meant everybody, but the meme was just men. Do we not take mental health seriously? Like, think about it. No. Like, Will Smith, his wife cheated on him.
Yep.
And they went public with it. He talked, he got emotional, he cried.
Yep.
And then became a joke.
Yeah. Mental health is a very serious topic. You know, you look at kids these days. I mean, in school, I know when I was in school, there's a lot of bullying going on. And you see it nowadays. And I feel like nowadays, mental health is not taken as serious as it should be. There's a lot of kids that are... Look at kids shooting up schools and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Look at kids committing suicide and stuff like that. Mental health is a very serious thing. It's something we really, as a country, need to take a serious look at. You know, I have family that suffers from depression and anxiety, and I have friends that suffer from anxiety and depression. And you know, I try to work and talk to them when they need it. It's scary. It can be very scary. But I definitely think it's something as a country we need to be better at being aware of and take a little bit more serious. And it's something we definitely have to put like more money as a country into finding ways to fix it. And we just need to be better as humans too. I mean, we're very evil people at times.
So on social media, someone had posted something saying that this was toxic masculinity. This was women don't need to have someone stand up for them or damsel in distress. I said, I don't know if that really fits. I think Will's going through some things and he snapped. And I got told, you're enabling violence. So
I kind of agree with you. You know, in some ways, whether women can stand up for their own, which 100% they can.
I think Jada would have knocked out Chris Rock maybe
100%.
more.
You know, I look at my wife and my sister-in-law. Someone pisses them off. I mean, they're gonna swing.
Yeah.
You know, and they're gonna do more than I'm gonna do. So they can stand up for their own. But when it came to that, I don't know if it was so much as he snapped. Like I said, you listen to the joke. He watched the video. He's laughing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the camera pans away, and now he's walking up on stage. So I don't know what happened in between there. You know, when he stopped laughing and when he saw what Jada's reaction. So without having the background of what actually happened when the camera panned away, I mean, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it is really hard to tell. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, what he did was wrong.
Right, I agree. Especially on live TV, in front of all these people, on an award show like that. If you have a problem, save it for after the show.
I feel like, and I did see some pages saying like there's a history of the Smiths and Chris Rock not getting along. So I wonder if that played an impact.
That's the first I've heard of it. So
yeah, he's made some jokes about them before on an award show, but like you're a celebrity, like people are gonna make fun of you.
well, 100%.
You know.
Yeah.
So again, didn't know that there was even an award show that
Neither
day.
did I. I'm more about sports and regular TV. So.
Yeah. People be giving me a lot of crap about this. I wish it was Ricky Gervais that he smacked. I don't like him.
Yeah, I mean.
Not that I want anybody to get smacked, but
Right, but if it was Ricky Gervais doing it, I think the joke probably would have been a lot worse than a G.I. Jane joke.
yeah.
That's the kind of comedian that Ricky Gervais is.
And that's the thing. We were talking about this off air before. Is it wasn't like that bad of a joke
No,
at
I
all.
didn't think it was that bad either.
You know, like G.I. Jane was
A badass.
and that was how many years ago?
Right.
Like, yeah, it was a crazy time. But I do want to get in some top fives with you.
All right.
What are your top 5 favorite movies?
It's a tough one. I mean, there's a lot of good movies. I never watched Top Gun until probably about right after my son was born.
Okay. Tom Cruise?
Well, so we named our son Maverick.
Okay.
But it wasn't after the movie, and everyone's
Yeah,
like, "Do you guys name it after the movie?" I'm like, honestly, I've never seen the movie.
Yeah.
Now that I've watched it, I think that's definitely in my top 5.
Okay.
Marvel movies. I mean, you could collectively put them all into one.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I'm not a big fan.
I love comics.
Okay.
I mean, I never read them growing up, but the on-screen version of them, something about the everything that goes on, and it just keeps my attention. Like slow, long, dragging out movies just loses my attention.
Is there a favorite one that you have? Like I did like Black Panther a lot.
Endgame was one of my more favorite ones.
Okay.
Recently we saw Far From Home, or No Way Home,
Okay.
Spider-Man, and that was really good. Seeing all this old Spider-Man characters come into one, that was an exciting moment just to see my childhood Spider-Man and the new age Spider-Man all come together on the big screen together. So I really like that one. So that's probably the number one out of the recent ones that I've seen. Star Wars. Again, lump them all together. The new trilogy is a little iffy.
We might get into a little bit here.
Why? You don't like Star Wars?
I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
I will say this. Disney, thank you for ruining something that I love.
See, I hear a lot of people hate it. Everyone did not like Rise of the Skywalker. Return of the Jedi is one of my favorite movies. If it's a carbon copy, okay, I'm fine with it, because Return of the Jedi is by far one of my favorite movies.
The original 3 I love. Here's my issue. You had a good thing. So what was it? The Force Awakens.
Yep.
The first one. What was the second one?
The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi, and then The Rise of Skywalker.
Yep. I know where you're going with this.
You had a good character going. Why would you bring back the Emperor?
Because
he's dead.
Because
you now ruined Return of the Jedi.
Because Rian Johnson and who's the other one?
Oh, the guy who did Star Trek 2. I can't think of his name.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head either. But because they never talked, and one had one idea, the other had another idea, and they threw everything out from the first movie in the second one, and it may have been a good movie, but when you start going in one path and then you start going with another movie, now this one already had his idea of what he wanted the second and third to be.
Abrams.
J.J. Abrams, right? Yep. So J.J. Abrams had an idea, Rian Johnson had another idea, and then J.J. Abrams was like, no, we're not sticking with your idea. We're going right back to where I was.
He ripped everything up in the second movie.
Oh, I agree.
And left nothing for the third movie, and it was like...
he just had to pull a rabbit out of a hat, pretty much, and try to figure out how to do this, and I think that's why they brought the Emperor back.
Pathetic.
I agree.
It really does piss
I agree.
me off.
I wasn't a fan of having the Emperor in the the third one, but I was really hoping Darth Sidious was going to be like a bigger character throughout.
I'll say this, and you got a friend, Mike Daggs. He's been on the show before.
Oh, yeah.
I said to Mike one time on Facebook, I said, I don't give a crap about The Mandalorian. Okay?
Oh, I love The Mandalorian.
I'm sure it's good. I didn't ask for a TV show. I asked for movies that made sense, and they didn't do that.
But if you hated the Disney Star Wars movies, if you give The Mandalorian a try, you'll completely change your thought process of what Disney did with Star Wars. What Jon Favreau did for Star Wars completely erases everything that Kathleen Kennedy did.
I probably agree with you. I probably will give it a chance, but I'm just annoyed. I'm just really annoyed.
I understand. I have a buddy, Mike, who just bashed on all the new Disney Star Wars movies, so I get where you're coming from, but to me, it's all about entertainment. As long as it makes me laugh and keeps me entertained for the whole time, that's what's important to me.
Totally agree. I'm just saying it's like the holy grail of like movies for me.
Right.
We could go on a rant about this all the time. But what other movies do you love?
Anything military.
Okay.
Black Hawk Down was by far one of my favorite movies of all time. Lone Survivor, fantastic movie. And American Sniper. I mean, those three right there off the top of my head.
I love American Sniper.
All fantastic movies. But anything military is right up there for me. I mean, I could sit there and watch that all day long. They do in real life and in the movies what I always wish I could have done, but I never was brave enough to do. And then lastly, the Ninja Turtle series. You put Ninja Turtle movies in there, I got the whole sleeve of Ninja Turtles on right now.
Oh, really?
Tattooed on me. So
yeah.
You put on the original 90s Ninja Turtle movies, I love everything about them. New, old, you name it, I love it.
Who's your favorite?
Raphael.
Really? I thought it was going to be Michelangelo.
Michelangelo's cool, but Raphael and Leonardo are my top two.
Okay. I do love the Ninja Turtles. I don't watch as much now, but...
having young kids, I'm trying to get my son into it a little bit more. Yeah. So I try to play the old movies because the newer ones are all right, but I mean they're not nostalgic like the originals.
They're not. The originals were better. Is there like a cartoon show in that now, or?
They ended like 2 or 3 years ago, Nickelodeon. But the way Nickelodeon did the characters, just to me wasn't what it was like in the 80s and 90s when the original cartoons were around. But Seth Rogen is working on a new Ninja Turtle movie right now.
Oh, okay.
And they're gonna branch off into Netflix TV shows after that.
I will say something from our childhood. Do you remember the Scratch and Sniff Ninja Turtles cards that smelled like pizza?
No.
Okay. Something you should check out.
Wow.
Probably get it on eBay, but yeah.
I have the original Ninja Turtles from the 1990s trading cards, but I've never heard of the Scratch and Sniff.
Yeah, it was a thing. It was there was some weird stuff going on back then. Top 5 athletes.
Ooh, I'm very biased on this. Coming from New England, I mean, there's lots of good players out there. I know you won't like this one, but to me, Michael Jordan, hands down.
Scotty was better.
NBA, no way. NBA, Michael Jordan's right up there with Kobe Bryant. But my top 5 favorite, Patrice Bergeron. I'm an avid hockey fan. Wasn't until I met my wife. But I love everything about hockey. Patrice Bergeron is the epitome of what hockey is.
Amanda got you into hockey more?
My brother was into hockey. I grew up playing street hockey with friends and stuff like that. But my wife's family all played hockey. And I really started getting into it and watching it as I got into like my late teen years, early 20s. And Now I love everything about hockey. I could watch hockey all day long.
Your nephew's like killing it. From what I've seen on social media.
When he's not lazy on the ice.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're both up there. I mean, one's goalie, one's he plays defense mostly, but he likes to play wing sometimes. But
nice. I love seeing the pictures, of him playing.
It's fun watching them.
So.
But Patrice Bergeron's probably one of my top ones. Tom Brady, greatest football player of all time. I went through a patch where I had my dislikes with him. Shortly after he injured his knee, I felt like he kind of was ducking out of a lot of hits, which is understandable, but it kind of frustrated me. But Tom Brady is definitely one of my top favorite players. Julian Edelman, love Edelman. That's what I base my game off of when I play flag football. Is Edelman. I try to play just like he was and leave it all out on the field.
Do you think the rumors are true that he's going to come back to Tampa?
I hope. I mean, I love Brady. When Brady retired, I want it to be the end. I want to see the future.
Thank you.
I want to see the future. I get it. You want to be the greatest of all time, but you already are.
Yeah.
Let the new guys come in and win it,
I just don't think he knows what to do with himself if he doesn't play.
Spend time with your family, man.
Yeah.
I look at it now, like, I wish I could stop work to go spend time with family, but I don't have that opportunity.
Yeah.
Basketball, Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
I grew up loving him on Minnesota, and when he came to Boston, it was like waking up on Christmas morning. One of my favorite players to watch. He gave it everything all day, every day on the court, and bringing a championship to Boston, which unfortunately we haven't seen one since, is one of the highlights. And then Red Sox. I mean, again, I'm going to be biased because I'm a New England guy. Yeah. So, actually, you know what? We're not even going to go to Red Sox. One of my favorite players, Ken Griffey Jr.
Really? Okay.
Love the kid. You
can't go wrong with Ken Griffey Jr.
No.
To be honest.
The Seattle teams back in the late 90s, early 2000s, some of my favorite teams to watch.
I liked him better there than when he went to the Reds.
100%. I mean, his career was pretty much over by the time he went to the Reds. He just couldn't stay healthy.
Now, I got to ask you a question. There was a meme going around on social media. Is the 2008 Boston Celtics celebrating one championship way too much after all these years? And I felt attacked, personally, because that was, oh my God, that was amazing. But it was only one.
Well, I get it. Yankees fans still celebrate 26 championships that happened over 20 years ago. So, if they can celebrate 26 championships, or Montreal Canadiens celebrate 26 championships, whatever it is they have, and they haven't won anything in the last 20 years, what are you celebrating about? Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. They won it. They were champions for a time. They never won again. They're going to celebrate that for the rest of their lives. It's a big moment for their careers. So.
I hated when the Lakers tied. Hated that.
Well, let's keep it the young youth generation or the youth movement going at the Celtics, see if we can bring some more, because the way the Lakers are going right now, they're only getting older and older.
Well, a lot of people do think the Celtics have an actual chance this year.
With Rob Williams out, might have taken a hit.
Yeah.
If Rob Williams is able to come back for the playoffs, I think we have a legit shot. Kyrie's back with the Nets. Is that going to make a big difference? They've been playing shorthanded all year. Is Ben Simmons going to help them out? I'm hoping, as a Bostonian, or not really a Bostonian, but a New Englander, that the Celtics win it. I've never really been a big NBA fan.
It can get annoying.
Yeah.
We try not to say Kyrie on the show because he's one of my most hated athletes
100%,
ever.
100%. But I feel the same way about LeBron, and you're a huge LeBron fan. So.
I love LeBron. I hate Kyrie. Well, you know what? Kyrie was the one that was like, LeBron's too mean to me. And now, when he came here, and we were like, thought he really cared about playing for Boston, and then he
burned us.
You knew that was coming, and then to be like, oh, you're all racist there too.
Not only that, to walk and stomp on Lucky after one of the games when he first returned, I was super disrespectful.
He's just a jerk.
He is.
And to be honest, racism is a real thing. And you're making a mockery out of it and just calling people without any rhyme or reason.
Yeah, it's not like they were making racist remarks toward him. They were just unhappy with the fact that you came to Boston and said, I want to sign a long-term contract, and then in the offseason basically went,
He's a jerk. I don't agree with someone throwing the water bottle at him, but I also want to
It
say
happens everywhere.
that water bottle was pretty much empty.
Yeah, and it happens everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not just Boston.
Yeah.
There's people that are unhappy with other athletes all year. If you leave one team and go somewhere else, especially a rival of all places. Not that Brooklyn's a rival to us, but if you go to a rival,
they're in New York.
You're going to deal with hecklers.
Yeah.
You're going to deal with hecklers.
We're not saying to do that. We're just saying like
we're not promoting it.
He made it seem like he was like assaulted so hard and all this. It's like I've had people throw water balls at me at softball.
Yeah.
And I was okay. I do want to get this opinion from you.
Okay.
You play a lot of flag football.
I do.
You play in the Turkey Bowl numerous times.
Yep.
Who are the top 5 flag football players in this area?
In this area, I haven't played with a lot of people in this area.
Okay.
So I mean, if you're talking New Hampshire.
Well, who do you think, when you've played the game, who do you think when you think of like the top tier?
A lot of guys you probably never heard of before.
Okay.
There's teams that recruit left and right. D. Jennings is one of the top players I've ever seen in my life. Him and this kid Mel Bonilla, they're great. They're fantastic. I mean, the things that they do on the field, I only dream. If I tried doing what they do, I'd break my knee in 5 different places. A Junior Teixeira, freak athlete. Great on quarterback, but a better wide receiver in my opinion. I forget his last name, but this kid I grew up playing with. I saw him when he was a young teen. He was like 12 years old. Coming watching his dad play flag football, playing with like the little junior team. This kid Johnny Granfield. And I've seen him grow from a little runt 12-year-old to just this jacked kid that, I mean, you put him on the field, he's going to make plays left and right. He doesn't play that as often as I would like to see him play because he's got a lot of talent. But he never grew up playing football. He just started playing flag football, and he's fantastic. He's really good. And honestly, if Nate could stay healthy, I think Nate Forsyth is up there. Some of the most talent. He's got hands like you wouldn't believe. And then this kid, Adam Duval, that plays in Blitz. He plays in a couple other leagues. I've never had the pleasure of really playing against him, but this kid's vertical is ridiculous.
Are the Forsyths probably like the best
Local?
brothers in flag football, period? Like, does it get better than that?
I don't know. I've never really played many brothers that you see playing. I mean, you've seen father-sons play. But brothers, yeah, I mean, they're definitely up there. Nate, like I said, if Nate didn't hurt his knee and he was playing this year, Nate's one of the top athletes I've seen, I've played against. His brother, Jake, is ridiculous.
Jake's probably the best quarterback I've seen in the Turkey. So I've run the Turkey Bowl for a long time. 12 years, maybe 13 years. Jake's the best quarterback I've seen play.
I've seen a lot of good quarterbacks. I mean, playing for the last, since I was 18 years old now, so 14 years. I've seen a lot of good quarterbacks come and go, and I hate catching balls from Jake.
No.
he just whips them in there, and I leave with like bruised hands, bruised ego.
Yeah.
It's tough.
He's good though. I mean,
he's fantastic. He's fantastic. Like, he can sling the ball into places that I could only imagine throwing.
Big shout out to Jake. I will be honest. In all the years I've done the Turkey Bowl, we've seen a lot of great quarterbacks. I got Jake as number one.
Yeah, he's definitely up there. He's definitely up there. And then his brother Tyson is one of the best centers that I've played against.
Yeah, they're all good athletes.
They are.
We grew up with a lot of great athletic people.
We grew up in a very fortunate, very great neighborhood. A lot of kids got along, got to play together. Sports, baseball, football, other sports. We grew up in a great neighborhood.
Well, you guys were by the big one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was me, Nate, Tyson, Steve, Logan Gillis.
Oh,
yeah.
He went on to do a lot of great
Dan
things.
Klink, Brian Klink.
Yep, the Klink brothers, great.
Brothers, yeah.
I don't know where they're at though. Like Brian,
I think Dan's living in Connecticut now. But.
Okay, I seen him more recently, but Brian Klink, yeah, he's one of the better softball players I've ever seen.
He was a fantastic baseball player when he could rifle a ball in there. Wasn't he throwing in like the 90s when he was like 17 years old?
Yeah, he might have been. Good guy. Yeah, no, I mean, we weren't too far away from you guys
Yeah.
on Cassandra Lane there. But blank versus blank, my favorite segment in the show here. I'm going to give you two things. You got to pick one. You're going to tell me why.
Okay.
Corn or Limp Bizkit?
I have to go with Limp Bizkit. They're both great bands. Korn's a little bit harder. I was never really into like the harder rock when growing up. So when I listened to them more, Limp Bizkit, it was more the rap metal,
Yep.
like the new metal type, like the Linkin Park type style. But they always said that was vulgar language. And when I was little, I mean, every kid likes to just sit there and swear while they're singing. So Limp Bizkit was back in the day. I'd say Limp Bizkit. Nowadays, I'd probably say Korn. I'm just not a big fan of Limp Bizkit's music nowadays compared to what it was back in the day. Now I can listen to Korn more often than I can with Limp Bizkit.
I gotta say, I don't listen to either one, like their newer stuff, but man, in the '90s, both those bands.
They were fantastic, but like I said, I mean, the rap metal, you grew up on hip hop and stuff like that, and when that jived with the new metal, it was something different,
No, good answer. Would you rather play softball or flag football?
Flag football. Softball is great. I grew up playing baseball. Never played football growing up, really. I grew up playing baseball. Softball has got its own perks, but man, football is just, there's something else about it. Especially playing like the Blitz League. I mean, the physical. I complain sometimes about the physicality because sometimes it gets a little out of hand. But you know, the just, I don't know, something about it. Just more exciting, more of a rush. It's to me, it's a little bit harder. Yeah, I'd have to go with flag football all day long.
Now, is Bruce Wallace the president of Blitz?
Yes, so he is, but he's handing the reins over to Kevin Langevin.
Okay. So I know Bruce from Padres, like Bambino.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when I heard him, like, he runs a football league now?
Yeah,
like,
he's running for a long time. It's a very successful league, too.
Yeah, that's really crazy. I mean, there was one time we were playing, you know where National North is?
Yep.
It was Rob Murray Field or whatever it is next to Holman.
Holman Stadium, yeah.
He hit a home run that hit a car finally. You knew that was going to, like, happen there.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't believe it took as long as it did for them to put netting up there.
You think common sense has to come in where it's like, you have a baseball field pointing to a street.
A very busy street at that.
You know, like, so there was one time he hit one and it hit a car and the lady came in and it was like, I couldn't believe it, like, it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But when it actually happened, I was like, I can't believe, you know, like.
Yeah, like I said, I can't believe it took as long as it did for them to put a netting. I mean, it was just, a couple of years ago that they put the netting up, right?
It has to be, yeah.
I mean, I drove by it, oh man, like 2018 maybe, and I was like, oh wow, there's a netting up here now? There was never there. For all the home run derbies and stuff like that. And
I just don't understand. Well, I guess there was no really good place to put it because if you say when they built the field, you turn it the other way, that's in the parking lot.
Right.
I just feel like it's like not a good place for a baseball field, unless you're home and like.
I feel like
what was the point of that field being there?
I feel like if they turned it towards like the playground of Amherst Street School,
yeah,
maybe that would have been a little bit better because you know you're hitting into how many kids are really there on a Saturday?
They might not be there when there's
Monday
games,
night
yeah.
or a Tuesday night, late at night. So I think that would have been a limit. Plus, back in the day when we were playing, and that playground didn't really exist.
No, to this day, it's kind of mind-boggling. Of like, why is there a field right
facing
there?
A road, right?
Like, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Tough question here. We ask everybody this.
Okay.
The New England Patriots had a very successful run for 20 years.
Yep.
Who's more responsible at the end of the day, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? Not an easy one, I know.
It's not. You know, Belichick won one before with the Browns. Did he win with the Giants? Can't remember.
He won with the Giants. Never won anything with the Browns. He might have won a playoff game with the Browns.
All right, so he won with the Giants. So
he was a defensive coordinator with the Giants.
Right. Yeah. So he had some success prior to coming to New England, but man, Brady is just. I don't think if we didn't have Brady, I don't think we won 6 championships. You know, especially the comeback against Atlanta. That was Brady. I mean, that was defense, but that was Brady. I mean, that was just pumping the ball down the field, putting it in the right spots in the right hands. I think Brady has more to do with our championship. I mean, again, it's a team sport. It takes 53 guys to win. But Brady was definitely a defining piece of that dynasty.
You don't win without the quarterback.
Definitely not.
You know,
you look at teams right now, I mean, it's tough. It's tough because you look at Seattle. You know, they had Russell Wilson, so he had a dominant quarterback. You had great defense, great receivers. You only won one ring. Look at Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks in the game.
I can't believe he only has one.
Oh, yeah. One of the best quarterbacks in the game, but so maybe it's not all Brady, but he's the greatest of all time. He's the greatest player to ever play. So, but it helps to have the greatest coach of all time, too. So,
I know. And people, when I ask this, they go, we had a show earlier today, and they said, I hate this question because I think it's hard to compare the two.
It is. It is because each have their own aspect. They each bring their own piece of the game. You know, Brady's offense. Belichick's defense. So without Belichick, is the defense as good? Without Brady, is the offense as good? You know, only time will tell. You know, if we win another championship with Mac Jones, maybe it was Belichick. But you look at Brady, left New England, went to Tampa Bay, and granted, he had a fantastic team and got handed a great offense. His defense wasn't great, and he still won a championship. So
it's crazy, and I honestly thought he was finally done. And
like I said, I was hoping, you know, and not that I don't want to see Brady succeed and win more, but man, I want to see the up and coming. I want to see the new blood. You know what I mean? It's been 20 years. We were very fortunate as football fans, as New England fans, to see it, but man, I just want to see the new blood come in. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes win.
I still want to see his brother or his wife.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, it does get annoying with Brady when people are like, oh, he's sticking it to New England. I go, he's not sticking it to anybody at this point. This guy just wants to keep playing football.
Right. I agree, but if the Miami rumors were true about him wanting to go to Miami, that to me would have been a big, you know, sticking it to Bill Belichick in New England. Because you don't go to a division rival when you've played against him for 20-plus years. You don't go to a division rival and try to win a championship there. It's just, I don't know, there's something about it. That's like going to the Jets or it's...
I welcome it, though. I think that'd be must-see TV. Honestly, if Brady's the quarterback for the Dolphins, we're beating them.
I hope, but I mean, that offense is getting better and better each year. They're just a quarterback away from being good.
That would be, though, must-see TV. And you get it twice a year, you know?
Right.
But... God damn it, Tom Brady, retire.
I hear you.
Sick of this.
Let's go. Come on.
And we love you.
One more year and be done.
Yeah. These are two people that love you.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Would you rather listen to Prince or Michael Jackson?
I was never a big Prince fan.
Okay.
Never a big Prince fan, so I'd have to say Michael Jackson. I mean, there's I know he had his questions about the things he did, but his music was fantastic. He had a lot of good hits, and like I said, I just never really got into Prince.
No, fair enough. I mean, and that's the tough thing is, can you separate art from what the individual might have been?
Yeah.
You know. Would you rather do a Tough Mudder or a Spartan race?
Tough Mudder, hands down. Spartan races are fun, but, I mean, they've changed so much. It's more about breaking you physically and mentally. And again, it has its perks to it. Tough Mudder is about working as a team.
Yeah.
You know, it's about making sure the other person succeeds. And I don't feel like that's what Spartan is anymore. And even Tough Mudder nowadays, now that Spartan bought them, I don't feel it's as...
Oh, Spartan bought them?
Spartan bought Tough Mudder. Tough Mudder was going under, and Spartan race bought them. So I ran in the Tough Mudder last year, and the obstacles just weren't what they used to be. But the camaraderie and the teamwork that you have in a Tough Mudder is so much better than a Spartan. Like, if you fail an obstacle in a Spartan race, you're forced to do burpees. And then some people, you know, they get 5 in or 10 in, and you're supposed to do 20 or 30. And people will be like, you need to finish doing those. Well, I mean, some people aren't physically capable, or at that point they're broken to the point where they just want to finish the race. When you do a Tough Mudder, you know, you're not penalized for not finishing, or for failing, but you're going to have people around you encouraging you to finish and try to finish that obstacle or do that obstacle, and they're going to help you pass that obstacle. You don't necessarily get that in Spartan anymore.
I do. I know we're getting short on time. Real quick, and then I want to get to my last blank versus blank. But favorite race that you ever done? Tough Mudder or Spartan race? Was there one that like just you were like, this was the best time that I had?
Savage races are a lot of fun.
Okay.
But Tough Mudder in Vermont was probably one of my top favorite races ever. The like I said, the obstacles they got there. I mean, there is one where it's called like the King of Swingers, and you're standing about 3 stories up, and there's like a pole right in front of you. You got to jump onto the pole, grab it, swing, and hit a cowbell and fall into water. And it's like little things like that, like just harder, not so much hard, but fun obstacles to perform. I would rather have fun doing it, and I understand the purpose of them.
Yeah.
But I'd rather have fun doing the obstacles and work together with people than just completely break myself and at the end be like, why did I just do this?
Understandable. I get that. That's good to know. I know that no one does more races than you do. Last question. Toughest one in blank versus blank. Better tough rucker. Bobby Bollier or Rob Dennis? Is there even a way to compare it?
That's hard to compare because I've never finished with you guys.
Yeah.
I'm always ahead of you guys. Yeah. So,
well, who's better to walk with? If you had to choose one.
It's a tough question, man.
This is always the toughest one in blank versus
That
blank.
is a tough question because, again, like I said, I mean, I usually stay with you guys for the first couple miles and then I take off. So, I mean, I've walked with Rob by myself, training and stuff like that. We've had our conversations. I've grown up with Bobby. I've known Bobby a lot longer.
Yeah.
You guys are the ones who actually introduced me to Rob. But I feel like when Rob and I are together, we have a lot more conversation. I've never really taken the time to really talk with Bobby and engage with him. So I would say if it comes to walking with somebody, I'd probably say Rob, simply for the fact that, like I said, we've had those conversations and we've talked and we walked and we've rucked together for a lot longer. Bobby's a great kid. I mean, your brothers, your whole family's awesome, man.
Yeah,
To be honest with you, like I said, I've grown up with all of you guys. Mike's awesome. Bobby, I barely know Tim, but Tim's always been great with me when we've played softball. But Rob and I just, we mesh. So when we're walking, like I said, we have those conversations and we're able to engage and keep each other occupied the whole time.
No, I love rucking with all you guys.
Oh, 100%.
So we put your feet to the fire on that last question.
Yeah.
But anyways, I can't wait till April 16th. We're going to have a good time. We're going to go do it again. I'm sure you're going to finish hours ahead of us.
I'll still come back and finish with you guys.
But Josh, I really appreciate you coming on the show. It's been a blast.
Thank you.
Everybody out there, keep your heads up. We'll be back next week and continue to let freedom ring.